Hello, welcome to my channel, A Piece of My Opinion. Welcome to my commentary reaction channel where I give my opinion based on what I see and what I hear. Please remember, reaction channels are about you, not for you. Don't take it personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. If you know, you know. Let's go. I have a classroom setting, so our agenda today is Wineglass and Chill. Words of the day: Munchausen's syndrome, a rare condition where someone fabricates or induces symptoms of illness. A factitious disorder, a condition where someone has a convincing medical or mental health problem. And this Car Chronicles with Wineglass and Chill, she's going to speak about what she say have been diagnosed health problems within her family. Of course, I don't know what's to be true or not to be true. So again, this is just my opinion. And some things that she's going to be saying. I just feel like some things get put in the atmosphere that don't need to be put in the atmosphere. I also feel like if you feel like there was some type of mental problems before we had children, then why do we continue to have children? And again, this is not just a situation with Wineglass, and not even just in this quote unquote mommy sector. You know, just in situations I have seen in the past. I just don't understand that whole concept, but let's go.
All right, y'all. So I want to,
and I did title this Car Chronicles because, of course, she's in the car doing this particular video. So, Car Chronicles.
talk to y'all about ADHD and everything we go through, like my family, what my family go through versus a normal family. So I just want to get on here and normalize
What is a normal family?
our ADHD because this is what we struggle with every day, all day. So ADHD in itself is, a lot of people think, oh, it's just constant reminders, like you constantly forget things. But it's a lot deeper than that. It's like when you have an office, right? And I always say this because the doctor told me this. It's like when you have an office, right? Everything is stored neatly in their folders. When you have ADHD, nothing is stored neatly in your brain. So nothing is stored neatly like the average person. So what we deal with on a daily basis is because all four of us got ADHD. And so Nayori might end up having ADHD because I already see the symptoms, the signs, and everything. He's probably going to have ADHD. I don't know if Nayori is going to have ADHD. I forgot to say, hey, y'all, if y'all knew.
And this is where I have a problem. Like you already, I see the signs, I see the symptoms. It's like your vision is tuned into that. Instead of making videos trying to explain it away or laying the foundation for excuses, I think you should be talking about how y'all dealing with it, what you're doing to be positive and just taking it in another direction.
My name is Wineglass and Chill. I do have a husband. He's been here since going on 16 years. And he is the father of all four of my kids. I do have 4 kids.
I don't know why she has to state that. I guess she's trying to throw salt in the game to these women that have multiple daddies. And Wineglass is she's good about that, trying to put herself above everybody else. Whatever makes you feel good. Whatever makes you feel good.
Is I have two kids that's already diagnosed with ADHD. My daughter has more of a different type of ADHD. She has ADHD, but she has other stuff wrong with her too. She has another diagnosis with ADHD. And then my youngest two are 4 and 2, and they are not diagnosed with ADHD, but I do see characteristics in Nayori's ADHD. So I just want to get on here and just talk about ADHD, period, like how it affects us as a family, and hopefully this shares a light on anybody else who has ADHD, because ADHD is, I feel like, is really pushed underneath the rug, especially in our Black community, because they don't like taking.
I disagree with that. It's not push. I think maybe in the past, especially before social media, some things were just not acknowledged, and it could have been because of lack of knowledge or just not wanting to believe it. And I'm not saying all people in the Black community acknowledge that it happens, but more so do. And more people don't make use it as a crutch or an excuse. Um, they get out here and they do what it is that they need to do. That might be the difference. I feel like you use it as an excuse, whereas people I have encountered don't use it as a 100% excuse.
Medicine. We don't like to take medicine because I really do think it stems way back in the day when slaves were like brought over here. We were Black, and when Black slavery was brought over here, I think this is what's stemming to.
Black slaveries were not brought over here. They were enslaved when they got over here. So I've spoken on this before, how important it is to educate yourself, and this is one of the problems I have with her. And I understand, maybe she didn't finish school and she's going to talk about all her educational issues and problems and concerns, but you're not a child anymore.
Now a lot of stuff, because we back then was taught, oh, we shouldn't have depression is a word. It is a word, but it is some physical things that you have to work with and understand to get through this depression. So a lot of times when it comes to medicine, we don't take medicine because of slavery. I'm saying, like, it's a lot, and it's just,
We don't take medicine because of slavery. If the enslaved Africans needed any kind of medicine or medical help, it was not provided. So it wasn't that we were taught not to take medicine. The enslaved Africans were not provided with medicine.
back in the day, I think it's just stemming off and rubbing on us a little bit more than it was any other day. So let's get into this ADHD, and I hope I'm not everywhere. And I know a lot of people's like, you are everywhere, but this is really my ADHD. This is part of me, and I cannot help that. You know what I mean? I have ADHD, and I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was grown, like not even 2 years ago. Wait, 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. In my mind, I know I had ADHD when I was younger. And so I get a lot of rude comments of a lot of people saying, like, oh, you can't spell, you can't speak. You, like, ADHD affects your speech. It affects your reading. It affects your spelling. It affects so much stuff in just period. And you'll think like, oh, you know, maybe my kid is this way, and it's really just ADHD. ADHD is like broad, like it's so much stuff that ADHD can happen to a person and a kid. Okay, so when it comes down to cleaning for us, and this is a big topic because I know a lot of people's like,
here she go with the excuse about her cleaning. Let's listen.
you are using ADHD for an excuse for you not to clean your house, and that is not true. ADHD does affect a person when it comes down to cleaning. So I wrote down some stuff on here. I did look up some things. I learned a lot.
I just think, and again, I'm not a medical profession, don't want to be one. I have a career that I'm in, but I'm not saying anything that she's saying is not 100% true or not true, right? Because ADHD does have a lot of different diagnoses with it, but also feel like it can be managed in some situations. And I just an example, like what we see on video with wine glasses, just things through everywhere, and no one's even trying to pick it up. So that's where I feel like excuses are being made because you're not trying to manage or tame whatever ailments or health conditions you say that you actually have. It seems like you just make excuses for living in filth.
Looking it up because ADHD affects a lot. It affects our whole world. Me personally, it affects my whole world. Bay personally, it affects his whole world. My kids, it affects their whole world. So I'm gonna dive deep into like what it really like, part of me, part of Bay, part of RJ, part of Malaysia. I honestly don't know what they're feeling until they tell me or when they get older and stuff like that. But I can see what's going on with them, so I can explain. So first of it, let's just talk about me. So I said, I looked on Google and asked, can ADHD affect keeping your house clean? Can it affect us like keeping our house clean? And it says, yes, ADHD can significantly affect your ability to keep your house clean, as people with ADHD often struggles with executive functions, skills like planning, prioritizing, and staying focused, making it difficult to.
So my question is this. Yes, you put that in Google and you got the very basic answer. So everybody in the house has the same level of ADHD, because we know there are different types, there are different levels and different moments and times when it would kick in. So everybody in this house has the same type, level, components of ADHD.
in, in, initiate, see, that's that ADHD, initiate and complete cleaning tasks, leading to a messy house environment, a messy home environment. Some people are naturally neat. So I know it's a lot of people on here that says, oh, I'm neat, I got depression. Well, my depression and your depression is different, because I have ADHD too. So you gotta really like play a factor of my ADHD with it. Like, it's not just regular depression. I have ADHD, so this is affecting it too. So I'm having two barriers at once that's affecting me. So it says, some people are naturally neat. They keep their things fairly organized and try to avoid making a mess. But many kids and adults with ADHD are the opposite. They are messy most of the time. So, and that's true, because right now I'm trying to figure out how to organize my life, and which is my home, right? And that is so true, because the ADHD person, I feel like we overthink it, and I got that too. So It says, this what I wrote down too. I said a large part that clouds my mind is my thought process of how often I misjudge a task will take. For example, I avoid doing the dishes for days because I think it will take 3 hours when it maybe takes 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So that's me altogether. Like, I will overthink something. I will see something and be like, man, that's going to take me 3 hours. Do I really want to spend my 3 hours on cleaning this? And I know a lot of people's like, oh, well, you could pick up before you make a mess. ADHD people that have ADHD, I lose my phone thousands of times a day. And just imagine if I just put down a knife, not even a knife. That's the wrong thing. Like if I put down a book and then I go about my business, I forget where I even put that book at. And it could be on the counter, it could be underneath papers, and I could forget. And then I rethink again, oh man, I need to go find that paper. Many a times I will walk, like I would be like, my mind is set, like I'm going to get an apple. So I'm in my room, right? And then I walk into the kitchen and forget what I was going to really do. And then I go sit down like, what am I really supposed to be doing? That is all part of my ADHD. Okay? And so let me explain. When I have speech problems, it's all stemming off of my ADHD. It's really my
I don't know. I'm just having a hard time with this. And again, it could possibly be because I'm not a medical person, even though I have been around and will be around people with ADHD. I just, I don't know. I don't know why I just feel like she's just making excuses for how things are in her home. I'm not sitting here saying she don't have these diagnoses, but I don't know. It's coming across as an excuse and not something that you're really trying to work through, manage, do things different in your life because you do know you have these diagnoses.
processing. I believe I got a processing disorder too. Like RJ has a processing disorder. Malaysia has a processing disorder. I believe Nayori might have a processing disorder too. But I don't know for sure. But I feel like that is within it. We all, me and Bay is like, all my kids is by him. So they already told me when Malaysia was born, once she had everything, they was like all my kids going to eventually have it because they are genetics, like the same genetic, like they're from the same dad, same mom. So that's what it
This is where I call bull crap. Like, seriously. Yes, DNA and genetics play a part in a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean all children will have it. It doesn't mean that they will, it doesn't mean that they won't. This is where I call all this. This is where I think wine glass you lose people because you start saying too much. You up to three or four diagnoses, and all these diagnoses come from your husband in quotation marks. I don't know. Again, it could all be true, but it just don't feel right.
is. So yes, it's hard for us to keep our room clean. It's hard to keep our whole house clean. So it is what it is. It's hard to stay organized. And the pieces that I use to stay
I'll call bullcrap because you can't tell me every single day, every hour, every minute of every single day, you just drop paper on the floor at home, leave cans on the floor in the bedroom, crumbs all over the table every single day because you have all these diagnoses. I'm just not falling for that. I'm not. It could be spurts and times where I guess everybody in the home is having a crisis and things don't get done. But it's every single time you come on the video that there's just crap everywhere in your house. I'm just calling BS on this, on what you're saying here. You're making excuses instead of giving solutions.
Organized is writing down a list of things I'm supposed to do a day really does help me, because I will forget, and it's not on purpose. It's just, that's my ADHD. So okay, so what else, y'all, we're gonna be talking about? Oh, so I want to explain some stuff of my outer body experience when it comes down to anxiety and ADHD too, because this all plays a part. So ADHD is when you overthink, or everything is not processing right, and you gotta look. So our brains, like I just said, is like an office, and if everything is stored neatly, then you can, like when you think about something, you can easily pick it out and it comes to you, right? Our brains are not like that. Our brains is disorganized, so it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for us to get things out, to understand things. Like, that's me. Like, I've been having problems with speech lately, and I don't think I ever told y'all. Like, I got put on a medicine and it messed my speech up. So now sometimes I gotta think before I speak, and sometimes the stuff don't come out clear, and I'm like, what is going on? So it could be part of my speech again. So it is what it is what we live with. So let me tell you about my outer body experience that I had. So I think this is way before I started taking ADHD medicine. But I did take a CBD gummy, and now this was very, very, very popular when the vapes came out. This was very popular, but I wanted, was it a CBD? The CBD gummies are different from the Delta 8 gummies. So I really took a Delta 8 gummy. So I'm not used to smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't do none of those drugs, right? So when I took the Delta 8 gummy, my body was not registered. Like, it was, everything was off. And this is when we lived in our townhouse. Yeah, this was when.
So I wonder if she's still taking them. Let's listen.
I think before I even start doing reactions or whatever. So when that happened, it was like I was in my body. No, I wasn't in my body. I was standing outside of my body, and I was trying to control myself. And I was just crying. I kept telling myself, like, I'm not a drug addict. We was at the hospital. Like, Bae took me to the emergency room ASAP, because I was like, Bae, take me to the emergency room. I don't know what's going on, because I never had this stuff. I never been high before. So I get to the emergency room, and I'm crying, like, and I'm shouting out, like, I'm not a crackhead, but I'm saying this like very, very fast. And then I feel like I'm here, but I'm really not here. And I am there, but I'm not there. I don't know if I guess if you ever.
Me envisioning this is funny as hell. I'm not a crackhead. Lord have mercy.
Been high before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's how I felt, but 10 times worse. Like, I could not control my body. So I was crying like I lost my mind forever. And it's crazy because I never really thought, like, people really go through this and can't get their mind back. And it's really crazy to me. And it's that right there scares the shit out of me. So that's why I was crying, like, I can never get my body back. And I'm not a drug addict. I don't do no drugs. I don't want y'all taking my kids. That was my first thing. Like, when I went in there, I thought they was going to take my kids. But then I settled myself down, like, no, my kids are not going to get taken. But then I went back to the same spot. It was like I was here, but then I went 10 seconds, like an hour behind. Then I went an hour forward, and then back to normal, and then an hour backwards. Like, it was really crazy. I was like really crying.
Yep. That's how I feel. Watch her go across the screen.
panicking and everything. They did put me on an IV drip, and then they did also gave me some, what is that, lorazepam, to help calm me, because I didn't know, like, I didn't know. So when I asked Bay, have he ever went through that? Because that is part of an anxiety attack. That right there is an anxiety attack, like, period. It's a panic attack. It's an anxiety attack. Like, when you panic,
How is doing edibles and the same thing as anxiety attack? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know because I don't do none of that. But I don't know. The comparisons are kind of confusing me a little bit. But let's listen.
you over panic, like you're stimulating. And he said, yeah, he said he went through that multiple times when he go through his attacks, like he cannot control himself, like. And this is why when it comes down to my husband, I stand so hard on him, because I went through that. I know exactly how he feel when he does go through his anxiety, when he goes through any of his problems. So my husband, I've been with my husband for almost, I can't remember, 15, 16, I can't remember, 15 years, 16 years, 14 years. I can't remember. But we've been together for forever, right? And when I first got with him, he used to breathe very fast, like that, because his anxiety used to be up. He'd be trying to breathe to calm down his anxiety so he won't have an attack. So I don't know what happened, but I think he said that he did smoke some type of marijuana back in the days. This was when he was younger, and ever since then he had really bad anxiety. But it could stem from all the stuff, the trauma that happened when he was younger. So he had a lot of trauma. He got shot before, he got hit by cars. He went through a lot of stuff when he was younger, y'all, like, period. Like, he went through so much stuff. That's why I said, when it comes out to my husband, I stump.
Please like, comment, and share. It's all free. Please like, comment, and share. She goes hard for this man. And I sitting here, I'm thinking she has never experienced another man. If she's saying 15, 16 years. So this is why she holds on so hard. And he's gonna hold on as well because he don't work. So he need to hold on to her because she puts up with whatever she putting down or whatever he's putting down. So she put it down, he pick it up. He put it down, she pick it up. So I guess they're a perfect combination.
On people next, because one thing about him, he's a very kind person, and the things that he goes through is crazy to me, how he could still be kind, you know what I mean? So his when he go through his anxiety, I understand this. So when we got together and then when we moved out, that's when I told him, like, babe, I really think you should go get checked out to see if they can manage you with medication so you won't have to live through this. So with him having this anxiety, he tends to lean to drinking. Okay, he don't even drink as nearly as he used to be back in the day. I'm good with the drinking now. Back in the day, it used to be really bad because he's trying to self-medicate himself. So when we have mental illness, we self-medicate.
Again, and every woman is different, and every woman, we've all dealt with what we've dealt with, good, bad, and indifferent. But I think the older you get is just like, and you're on the outside looking into a situation. It just, I don't see how these women do this, especially with children. Just sit up in a house, in a place, in a dwelling with a man that don't work. It's more to working than just getting money. And you got these kids who are seeing this. This is what bothers me. And I'm going to say it every time. This is about the kids for me. Um, what they see is what they know.
Ourselves. We smoke weed. We drink weed. I think people pop pills and they drink because they're trying to self medicate themselves. So I know a lot of people's like, why would you say that? Medicate. It is. It's part of it. I'm sorry. You can have a good time, but you can self medicate yourself. So and that's what I say. But that's what he was doing back then. And so once he got on his medicine and he went to the right provider, that's when his anxiety, he was like, I feel like I'm kind of normal now. He knows what things that triggers, like small spaces, riding in cars, he get car sick, and that's from his anxiety. It could be him driving himself. Might not bring up his anxiety, but he usually don't go that far, no way. He only goes to the gas station and back. He don't go far. So that's on, what he go through. So some days when y'all see him, y'all think, oh, he just sit there all day. No, he really does get up. He just don't like people intruding in his space. You know what I mean? He's very a private person. He does take care of his kids. Like when I'm gone,
Why is this video about him? It's almost again like she's trying to convince people of things when in one video you cursing and saying you don't give a damn, and in the next here you're trying to convince people about him. If you so convinced, you so in love, you hardcore hard starch for this dude, stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to convince people like you say that's not in your world. Just stop it. Get some real content.
who's like now who's taking care of the kids. Like it's not RJ in Malaysia, is really him. He's taking care of his kids, he's cooking for them, he's feeding for them, he's doing what he can do. And certain things that he can't do, I understand, because he does have some things that's going on with him. Like he got shot. Like I tell y'all this, everything I'm telling y'all, it's like y'all fight me and be like, no, you should throw him away. Like why should
Okay, he got shot. Plenty. Oh, I hate to say it like this, like it's just something that's so cool or okay, but people get shot and people carry on with life. Like, and again, everybody is different in how they handle situations and things. But how long ago was this? Stop using it as an excuse for him to be acting like a boy child. That's it, and that's all, Diamond. Like you can sit here and keep saying all this and trying to convince yourself of this. You keep saying this over and over again because you're trying to convince yourself that you're happy. Convince yourself that you're not stressed out. Convince yourself for get convince yourself and giving yourself reasons to stay in that situation.
if you that's like me, right? Y'all, like a lot of men be like, oh, he got a good woman, but I have flaws too. I have ADHD, he has ADHD. So you think he should throw me away because I go through my depression, I go through my ADHD? Why should I throw him away? He's a good person, he does what he do, and I feel like
He's not going to throw you away because the longer y'all stay together, he knows that you're going to keep tolerating the bare minimum. So he won't throw you away, and you know that.
as a man, my husband as a man, he does a lot more than the average nigga out here that does not even be at home with their kids. They don't even want to babysit their kids. They don't even give no money, no nothing. Like he does a hell of a lot. So
Stop comparing your husband to other people because that don't make your household flow because you're comparing what other men may or may not do. There's other men out here that actually go to work every day and they support their kids whether they're in the home or not. So how about you use that comparison? It's like you on one pendulum, but you're not on the other side of the pendulum. Okay, so I repeat it. There are plenty of men out here that work, that support their children, whether in the home or not.
It's just that it's things that comes with this ADHD that we have to learn how to accept. So that's what I had to do. I have to accept some stuff that comes with them. Everybody got baggage that you have to accept as you going into a relationship. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna keep on rambling about this ADHD stuff, but our ADHD really does affect us in the morning. Like, let me tell you about RJ. So RJ is very disorganized person, period. That's all he is. He's a nonchalant person. He's don't care about the details. He just want to get it done. So RJ is the type of person that will throw all his paper in his book bag, don't care if it's crumbled, don't care nothing. And that's part of his ADHD. And so RJ will ask you a lot of questions. RJ is very, very fucking smart when it comes down to math. And I'm so happy about that, because it's always a strong point in a person's life. Everybody got a strongness. Everybody got a weakness. Everybody learn different, right? So RJ is very good at math. Malaysia is really good at reading. Malaysia is different when it comes down to her paper. She puts it in her folder. She does that. But when it comes down to her room, she clutters paper. And that's what she does. Malaysia tends to think without asking.
So all these symptoms you just gave out, could it just simply be based on their age? Or is it you want to put the diagnosis on them? You want to put the symptoms saying that it leads to ADHD when it could possibly just be it's because of their age, and that you have never taught them, or you are not teaching them how to be organized, how to clean, how to do these things they need to know how to do as they're growing up.
RJ tends to think and ask. So he'll keep asking me a question over and over until he understands it. And Malaysia won't ask a question. So I had like vegetable oil grease. Like, that's a food, right? She put that in where the chemicals go because she don't know where it really goes. So she was just like, oh, I think it go here. RJ would have asked, like, Mom, I don't understand where this go. Where does it go? She would not ask. So her ADHD is different from ours. So in the morning, when we...
That's not ADHD. That is just their age, and they're different. They develop different. They're different ages. Stop it. Just stop putting that on them. You're putting that jacket on them for them to wear around every day, opposed to just helping them manage whatever it is they manage and actually teaching them something, instead of just laying around saying, oh, we're depressed, oh, we're this, oh, we're that. Like, this is just not good.
We don't have our medicine. We are playing against each other. It is the hardest time for all of us if we are not medicated. Now, RJ and Malaysia, they do take their medicine at night. They take Journey at night and guanfacine at night. Guanfacine is to help with anxiety. So Malaysia used to pick her skin so much that it used to bleed. And I thought it was autism, but it's not. It's really ADHD related and anxiety. So that's what helps with that. RJ, his mind tends to not stop when he doesn't take his medicine. So a typical day morning for us is really chaotic if they don't have medicine. So when they don't have medicine, guess what I have to do? I have to treat them like a newborn baby, because they're not going to understand not understand, but brush your teeth, wash your face. All that didn't slip their mind. They ain't thinking about that. They not going to do it. So that is our...
Again, I don't think that's 100% attributed to ADHD. I think part of that's contributed to their age and what you may or may not be teaching them to do. And again, it's just my opinion. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Struggle. So you got to remember, when they don't have their medicine, I haven't had my medicine either. So I'm forgetting things, where this at, where this at, and it's a shit show when it comes down when we don't all have medicine. This is why I'm so very important about everybody taking their medicine, because it plays on my mental and it plays on theirs. So RJ did tell me, but Malaysia never told me this. RJ told me too, like, mommy, when I don't take my medicine, it's like I'm stuck in my body without me controlling it. That right there, what he told me, goes back to my outer body experience that I had when I couldn't control myself. And so if he goes through that, let's say I stop giving him medicine, he lives through that for his rest of his life, he's going to tend to self-medicate himself with drugs. Like, period. It is what it is. And it's sad to say, this is why it's so crucial to understand what your kids need. Since I put my kids on medicine, they have been thriving in school. RJ was failing in first grade. He was behind because he was not medicated. And they told me, like, he's falling behind, he needs medicine. His own school. And I know a lot of people was like, oh, you're lying to people. RJ has been to a mental institution, and I never told y'all that. Let me know if y'all want to know the story to that. He's during a shutdown, he
Digital footprints are real. And I just don't think that you should be telling everything, because everybody's not always going to have good intentions. And that's something he could tell his own self when he gets old enough to tell it. You're telling things that could possibly be weaponized against you, him, and why? Why are you telling all of this?
went there and they seen it for themselves. And they was like, this girl is not lying. She's telling the fucking truth. Because they was calling me, what medicine do you give him to make him go to sleep? Because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and he ain't sleep. RJ has the same thing what his daddy has. They mind don't shut off at all. Never, unless they taking medicine. They would stay out for 2 days straight, sleep 4 hours, and be back up. That's how Bay is. If his anxiety is up or his mind can't shut off, that means that he'll be up all through the night and his schedule will mess up. And that's crazy, because that's how ADHD is. Our minds don't shut off. And then you got to remember, when you have ADHD, it plays on that too. So, and depression, and whatever you got, panic disorder, whatever you have, ADHD is affecting it even worse. Let's just put it like that. So, yeah, RJ went to, when he was 4, I was crying. I was so scared. He went to a mental institution. So everything that people be saying that I be lying about, I have proof for it. I don't have to show y'all, but I do have proof for it. Malaysia went to children's child development, because you remember I thought she was autistic. They did testing on her. What is that? Neural testing. They did neural testing. I forgot it's another one too. But they did testing on her. And everything that I said was repeated in test form. So I'm not lying when it comes down to my kids. I'm never lying. I want the best for them, because I feel like as a child, I got left behind. I know my mom fought for me. Don't say it. I'm not saying my mom never fought for me. She did. But she didn't know I had ADHD. She thought ADHD was, you cannot control your body. So I can control my body. Girls who have ADHD hold ADHD different. boys tend to show their ADHD. So just on that, I will keep rambling on and on, but I just wanted y'all to understand what we go through during the day. We're not organized people. That's why our house is always cluttered and chaos, but I'm trying to get better. I'm doing this because I want to.
And living in a cluttered and chaotic situation won't make you feel any better. And that's for anybody. When you're surrounded by a lot of clutter and chaos, your brain can't function properly. Your mind can't function properly. So, regardless of your diagnosis, you need to learn how to manage what you need to manage and keep your home in order.
Not because nobody else is saying, but I have a dream of having a nice big house. I want to train my kids to knowing, okay, let me pick this up, even though it's hard because we have ADHD. It's hard to remember to clean up after yourself when your brain is done with eating and we finna walk off. They don't have that like a normal person. Okay, when I get done, I'ma pick this up. We don't have that. Our ADHD is in full gear. So yeah, y'all, I will see y'all in another one. If you guys want more of this ADHD stuff and of RJ's what he went through, and I almost took him off of medicine and never put him back on, leave a comment.
I just don't think you should be telling that story unless you want to change your channel into drama or before and after situations. But if you're gonna be flip flopping back and forth about your t-shirts and your husband in quotation marks and all this and that, I think you need to be mindful of your digital footprint. And again, that's just my opinion.
Below and say, yes, wine glass, I want to know more, and I will do that video for y'all, another sit down video for y'all.
Alrighty, that's the end. So please like, share, and leave an educated opinion in the comment section. And as always, peace.